there is another dimension, beyond that which is knowledge of man. It is a dimension as vast as space, and as limitless as infinity. It is a blackness between the sun and the moon, between science and superstition, and it lies between all of man's fears and the summit of his ability. This is the space of imagination. It is an area which we call the Sci-fi Zone. The year is 2016, and a girl is to uncover the truth. A truth that pulls her through space, and a journey into the darkness that could be our own. Welcome back, everyone, to the Sci-fi Zone. And tonight we checked out an animated space epic, The Misty Green Sky, directed by one Jack Foster. Oh, this was a real treat. A young girl on a far-off planet in another solar system discovers that what she has been told is not the truth, motivating her to search for the truth in the cautionary tale of the Misty Green Sky. This was a 2016 release that features some really bad computer animation. It kind of reminds me of early computer PlayStation games in like the early 2000s. And they probably used something like Bryce or Blender to animate this kind of stuff. I mean, they should have hired someone like Jamie Hewitt, right? The animation is terrible, terrible. The animation is bad, but I would argue bad in a good way. Like a homemade project or a half-assed college assignment, kind of good. Yeah, that's what we're getting into here. The animation's bad, but I think it brought a lot to the table. So there's a lot of voiceover work, and it sounds like it's done by the same person.
It works too fast. None of us would be able to do the job afterward.
And done on a non-professional mic setup. Luckily, our main character, Emma, seems to have been voiced professionally. So at least we have that, and it's not too much of a detriment throughout the movie, but it is noticeably bad. Even for the poor quality of animation, I would hope that the voiceover audio setup would have been a little better. This movie was animated by a man. And you ask me, how do I know this? How do I know this fact? Well, let me tell you how I know this. The fact that every woman character in this movie has the same perfect fit body type. You truly get a pervy look into this guy's own imagination when you watch this movie. I feel very strongly about this. This had to be part of this guy's sexual fantasy. There's just no other way around it. It's just too wild, you know? In an early opening animation, when Emma is walking across the compound, we get to see how everyone stays fit on the planet. Take a close look. Look at this one. She's doing some kind of gymnastics, right?
What the fuck?
Another clue would be that every young woman on the planet is scantily clad. For instance, Emma seems to change outfits in every scene. And I'm not talking about like time passes. I'm talking about Emma's going somewhere, it cuts, it's a different scene. She changes outfits. Her shorts get super short. And when I say super short, I mean as short as they can possibly be on this animated character before there's no space left. She even finds time to change her hair, which was really confusing to me. I thought they were switching characters out, but no, it's still Emma. They just, for some reason, her hair changes constantly from scene to scene. Yeah, it was really confusing. The characters never have any clothes on, and it looks really cold on this planet. I was concerned. The other thing I wanted to mention is it's always fun when the animation skips and gets buggy. And you see Emma walking in one place more than once. God forbid you take the time to fix such minor issues. Emma's bugging out all over the fucking place, and they just left it in the movie, especially when she's walking. There'll be scenes when she's walking and she's just like walking in place on a solid piece of ground. It's ridiculous. Like, fix that shit, you know? Don't release it without fixing it. It seems like a really simple thing to go back and adjust. So you want to know where the animator prioritized his time instead? Well, I'll tell you where. On Emma's breasts and chest. As the film progresses, we get ample close-up shots of Emma's breathing in erotic fashion. There's a head-scratching scene when Emma travels on a ship to a space station. And we get a galactic-esque shower scene in space, in which she is being sprayed down by some kind of gray-greenish water. Her clothes seem to vanish into thin air. And she starts to breathe very heavily, and all of a sudden, we realize she's getting some kind of sexual gratification from this water being sprayed onto her, to a point where she appears to climax. And that's really where this movie just like went into another space completely. And this is why I'm claiming that this is truly this animator's sexual fantasy, because who else would write this into a story and spend so much time animating Emma's breasts to make sure you get that close-up shot of her nipple and her breathing? Oh, this guy is. As this erotic fantasy continues, we learn that there is an off-balance of women to men, meaning the women on this planet outnumber the men on this planet. So the men take up more than one wife. We have a tantalizing makeout scene in the jungle that alludes to this plot development. Here, take a look. I mean, the guys are making out on this planet. Look at Jim over here. He's a true player. So the mining of artifacts seems to be a fun adventure for the colony, as they appear to pose and work in silly manners and fashions. It is here that we learn from Nipple Mod Chick that there is a ship that leaves the planet with minerals. So Emma, being so clever, hides aboard. And off we go on this whirlwind erotic adventure. Emma at this point continues on a topless mission to uncover the truth that is the big lie. Everyone on Emma's planet has what is called the sickness. And if Emma comes into contact with others, she will spread a disease. And if Emma comes in contact with Earthers, she will spread a disease to them. Emma is eventually discovered on the space station, and robots are sent in to deal with it. Of course, they end up destroying the communications, and we get this very long, sensual crawling scene with Emma as she escapes the fire. It reminds me of that scene from Entrapment with Catherine Zeta-Jones and the lasers, where she uses her flexibility skills erotically to maneuver around him. That's what it reminded me of.
Yes! Yes! You're the man now, dog.
Oh, something I learned. When you die on a space station and it explodes, everyone's able to see you topless in space. I just thought that was an interesting fact that they focused in on that. What a movie. This is probably one of the strangest films I have ever seen. So my final thoughts on this was some hot fucking garbage in like the best kinds of ways, honestly. You should definitely watch this thing. I guarantee you have never seen anything quite like it, and I feel like the animation allows you to traverse this way. Should you watch it in a group? Yes, absolutely. This would be a fun one to watch with friends. It is ridiculous, absurd. You'll be laughing through the whole thing and questioning everything. There are big chunks of the movie where it slows down and there's a lot of just like filler for time and where nothing really happens and people are moving slowly. But that didn't really I didn't really see that as a detriment, honestly, because this movie is so strange and weird. I wanted to see what was going to happen. Watch it as a group. You'll be laughing the whole way through it. Another fun thing we get with this movie is references from other science fiction classics. We have stuff in here from Aliens, 2001, even Doctor Who, there's references. So there is ample opportunity here to see references pulled from your favorite science fiction. Yeah, this was something. I have never seen anything like this. This was truly a unique movie. I highly recommend you check it out. It is so weird and strange, and it really is like this pervy erotic adventure that you get to dive into this animator's head and see what's going on in there. This is someone that just took his sci-fi space fantasies and his sexualized idea of women and just smashed them together to make this movie. That's what this is. It is wild. You should check it out. It is crazy. Yeah. Man. What a film. This was a hot movie. Hot take. Man, we need to make some more animated science fiction movies, right? Up there in the blackness, a space unknown to man, where colonies grow each passing day. Up there, in a place we call the Sci-fi Zone.